Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to have a look at the model of the 2P, which was available between 73 and 74. It's catalogue number R.450. Now she's just taken this rake of very old Suburban coaches back to the station there. Nicely in. They do look great, don't they? These old Suburban coaches. Now they date from the late 50s, I think. Now off we go. We'll leave those there. Out back onto the inside line. Switch those points behind her. Around past the engine shed, and we're off up towards points number 18. Looking terrific going into the distance there. Nice gentle stop, and we'll switch number 18 and back onto the old turntable there through points number 17. Nice gentle stop there. We're going to rotor all the way around clockwise. Turntable's a noisy old thing, isn't it? But it does get the job done. 2P looks terrific there on the turntable. Really beautiful livery. Now, it's not the smoothest of things, this turntable, but it's definitely does it. There we go. Lines up with the outlet track. And off we go. Nice smooth departure there. Out through points 18 again. A gentle stop. And away we go, and we'll pick up those wagons in a moment. So here we've got the old 1973 catalogue. Terrific cover, isn't it? Really wonderful images. So we'll just swiftly flick that open to page number 16, and there we can see the old 2P there. So she was new this year. She was only in the catalogue for a couple of years, so she wasn't around for very long. Terrific models on these pages, aren't they? As we can see, she is here with freight, so we will look at her with some freight today as well. So I'm not entirely sure if that's correct, if she was designed for freight work or for passenger work. So we'll just pop this to one side, and we'll have a look at the old model. So here she is, old Hornby Railways box. So fairly tidy condition, just a little bit of wear on the edges. And then we've got the model number R.450 L.M.S. 440 Class 2P Fowler locomotive written on the end of the box there. You can see it's fairly tidy, just the Hornby Railways on the other end. A little bit of tape mark there. Have a look underneath. You can see the effects of tape, but it's been kept fairly tidy. So we'll whip the top off this, and we'll have a swift look at it. So we'll just put that in there. And we've got the old instruction sheet. Again, like many instruction sheets, it's a fairly universal thing, covering many items in the range, but it does have the model number here, R.450, and it's got a date there, 17th of the 5th, 1973. So just have a swift look at that. We've seen a number of these before. Let's have a look in here. Makes a great sound, the paper, doesn't it? Got the old name here, Rovex Limited. We'll just pop that to one side. And again, she's in one of those lovely bright yellow vac form trays. It doesn't have the model number incorporated into the tray, sadly. There it is. Really stunning looking livery, isn't it? So black with this red lining along the edge here. Great number there. 619 L.M.S. in great big letters along the side of the tender there. You can see the transfer or sticker applied to the side is quite crude. It almost looks like it could be like a paper label stuck on there. Really lovely looking model, isn't she? I think this livery really is terrific, with this lovely red line running right down the length of the model and the tender. From what I've read, the starting point for this model was Prime Railways L1 model, and they've just adapted it to create this Class 2P. I think we've got the old metal buffer heads just pushed into the plastic bodywork here. The old D-shaped tension lock style coupling. Screw holding the bodywork onto the chassis there. Lovely detail around the old smoke box there. It really is just a fine looking thing. Look at these lovely windows here. Just looking directly from the side here, we've got these lovely steps. They are rather fine though. I think they must be very, very fragile. Lovely looking wheels, very bright connection rod there, isn't it? Sadly, that transfer there looks to have slipped, or maybe it was just applied slightly out of square there, but I think we could probably live with that. They do look to be sort of like a paper type thing, just applied to the plastic bodywork there, and on the tender. They are quite crude. Again, we've got some lovely suspension detail on the old tender here. We've got cropped axles there and open axle boxes. A switched look from the back end as well. She does look really fantastic whichever way around you look at this model. Now, she does have plastic buffer heads on the tender, which is interesting, and she has metal on the front. The old D-shaped coupling as ever. Again, we've got the old open axle boxes with the cropped axles, full set of steps, all intact. Lovely wheels, and again we've got this bright connection rod, and they are fluted. And the transfer on this side seems to have been applied, or the sticker seems to have applied a little bit more square than the other. And she does have the old original wire handrail still intact there. Just looking across the top of the old model here, we can see we've got quite a fine coal load there. A little bit of detail on the top of the old cab roof there. A couple of safety valves perhaps, and a plastic whistle. I think the safety valves are definitely metal and separately fitted. Lovely looking chimney there. So we'll just have a swift look at the underside of the tender here. You can see we've got those old cropped axles there. So we've got sleeved wheels. You can see they run quite smoothly, quite freely. And if we look carefully, I don't know whether I can get this in focus for you, and it is quite soft in the plastic. We've got Hornby railways on the underside of the tender here, so the moulding is quite soft and out of focus. I don't know whether we can get a good view down here. We've got built in Britain just hiding in down there, if I can get it without the shadow of one of the wheels in just there. And again, it's not very sharp, so the tool's been altered from the earlier Prime Railways model. We've got the old crosshead screw holding the coupling on there. So it is a lovely little thing. The old drawbar, a little bit of detail on the inside of the tender there. Just pop that down and have a look at the locomotive. There we go. So we'll just have a look at the underside here. We've got the old pickup spring here. Plastic collection plate, single screw holding the old drawbar on there. You can see the back of the motor there coming right through the cab. We've got a little bit of cab detail in here. It's quite difficult to see. Let's see if I can keep that in focus for you. And the old chassis protruding through the bodywork there. The old wire handrail just clips in either side. So we'll just switch that around again. Got that great big drive gear there on the axle. A single screw holding the bogie in. There's an awful lot of play in this. A lot of travel as well. There's a lot of nose swing on this model as it comes around, especially the old first radius curves. But lovely looking wheels, aren't they? So I've just removed the old securing screw from the front of the model there. Tiny little thing. So we'll just pop that to one side. And we'll just lift off the bodywork here. It's just hooked on at the back onto the chassis there with that little slot. Metal chassis just pokes through that. And then the old securing screw just goes through the front there and holds the whole thing together. So we'll just turn that around and have a swift look on the inside. It is so delicate, this. Those steps are very, very fragile. And now we can see, made in Great Britain. It's a little easier to see than on the underside of the tender. And there's the old Hornby Railways mark there, a little sharper than the impression on the old tender. Tiniest of oil splats on the inside there, but very, very tidy. I think it's had a very sheltered life, this model. So we'll just pop that down. We'll just see if we can see that interior cab detail there just before we put that down, just around the top of the motor there and to the side. So it's better than no detail at all. So we'll just pop that down, and then we'll just have a swift look at the chassis and the old motor there. Again, it's hardly done any work, that motor. Those wheels are lovely, aren't they? We do have magnesium in the model on these wheels here. The magnet just sits in there behind the drive gear from what I can see. And again, we've got that old pickup spring there. So So it is very, very tidy, isn't it? Nice weight there to give it some extra pulling power. And just turn it around. It is a lovely thing. Now we'll just bring her beyond points number 1 there, just by the signal box. Nice gentle stop. We'll switch those. And we'll move back and see if we can collect these wagons. We've just got to push back far enough just so we don't get the uncoupling ramp working against us. Now that brake van there at the end of the rake does have a little light on the back of it, but you have to run quite a lot of power before it shows up under normal lighting conditions, which is a bit of a shame. Nice and smoothly through there. And off we go, past the engine sheds. And we're going to go through points number 8 there, onto the outside line. Again, nice and smooth. See that light doesn't really show up at all on the brake van. Into the distance, passing that other group of really great looking wagons there. And around under the old elevated section. I think we'll just have a swift look at the wagons. Back to the old 73 catalogue here, and you can see the range of wagons really is becoming more interesting. We've got these bright yellow wagons which we saw a few weeks ago, and the plate wagon, and we've got these hopper wagons and the slurry wagons. So we've got some of the old favourites here as well, and the old closed vans are getting some topography on the side, and we've got a ventilated van with opening doors. So really they are beginning to spruce up the range, and we get a carload there and topography on the side of the old horse box. So they really were improving the range. And then they've got the old silver seal wagons. They've started the range off there. You can see the old lime wagon there in the bottom right hand corner. So wagons were changing. So we'll just have a look at this little group that we've got today. We'll just pop this down. Great layout there on the back, isn't it? We'll just pop that to one side. And we'll start with this Corey mineral wagon here. It's perhaps the oldest of the lot. It came in around 72, I think. It lasted till 74. I think this is an early one because it's in the old triangle Hornby box with the old window. It's quite a fragile box. The old window's a bit broken. I'll just pop that down. Actually, we'll pop that the other way up and stand it on there. So a very fragile back form tray in there. We'll just lift out the old wagon. It's got the old white rimmed wheels on it, this. And if we look at the old the stickers or the decal, I think that might even be water slide on it. It's very fragile. You can see it doesn't quite make contact with the surface of the model, and these just flake away. Very pretty looking thing though. I'll just turn that around. As I say, these lasted between 72 and 74. You can see the old decal here has just slipped, and this one does have a load in it. Somebody's put a sand load in it, so I think we'll just leave that alone. So really nice looking thing. It's got triangle on the bottom there, so we'll just pop that one down and have a look at the old L.M.S brake van. Now this has a light on one end of it, so this was available 74 to 96, a very long running model. But you really got to put some power on for that light to come up. Again, we've got the old early style silver seal wheels on here. Well, an adaptation of the silver seal wheels because it's got a live pickup for the old lamp. A very basic setup there, isn't it? So very nice looking wagon though. So lots of detail on it, nice planking. Underframe details quite nice. Excellent thing. So it's I'm surprised they didn't do that before. Maybe even with the old transcontinental range on the end of those coaches they could have had a glowing light. It's surprising Triang hadn't done that in the past. So we'll just have a swift look at the end of the old box. Again, Hornby Railways boxes. R.450 L.M.S brake van. This tail light, and we've got the old silver seal sticker on it, I think there. These boxes tend to damage quite easily, so I'm not going to open and close them. So we'll pop that one down. We'll have a look at the old Coke wagon, R101. And this one's been weathered in the past. I've cleaned it up a little bit. It had quite a lot of sort of paint had been used to dull it down and weather it. It's seen better days. There's some bits missing off it as well. Now in this livery, this was available between 72 and 79, I think. Again, the old Silver Seal wheels on there, they've seen a bit of action, those. So quite a nice looking thing. I believe there are other models similar to this design, but with different topography, different names on the side over the years. So quite a few different variations around. And just have a look at the old box as well. Again, plenty of sellotape on there. You can see there the old model number there, R.101 Coke wagon. The price seems to have been torn away there. The old Silver Seal stickers there, excellent things. So we'll just pop that down. And then we've got the old lime wagon here. So it's an interesting looking thing. Quite a nice printing along the side of it there. Again, Silver Seal wheels. So quite a nice thing. We'll just have a look at the box. We've got the old Silver Seal stickers on the box, see if we can get that in focus. The old R.450. Quite a nice box. These tabs tear away so badly on these Hornby Railways boxes, so we'll try not to open and close them. So let's just have a swift look at that. Again, we've got the lovely early Silver Seal wheels on that. So there's a terrific thing with that sort of pitched roof on there. Lovely looking thing. And we'll pop that down. And that was available between 73 and 78. So we've got this old coal wagon here, 75 to 76, I think. Quite a short period of time. Again, I think there were other variants of this with different names on the side. Again, we've got those lovely early type Silver Seal wheels. Fairly tidy condition, this one. It doesn't quite sit on its chassis properly on one of its corners. See if we can see that. There we go. Doesn't quite sit in as neatly as it should. So there's a little sort of plasticized type riveting effect there. It hasn't quite gone in. I can't squeeze it in any further, but then you've got planking detail on the inside. So let's just have a swift look at the old box. Now, this has got a Silver Seal type sticker on it, but it's all matte. It's matte silver, so maybe they ran out of the shiny ones. I'm not quite sure. And then we've got R.090 coal wagon. Again, box is in fairly tidy condition. I love this shot as she comes towards the camera. But the other thing is just listen to the wheels, because these are predominantly all metal wheels. They have such a different sound than the normal black plastic Triang wheels. Just listen to that. It really is such a difference, isn't it? So there's just the Corey mineral wagon there that has the plastic wheels today. Again, just listen to them come towards us here. We should just have a swift look at these Suburban coaches. They're quite early ones. They've all got Mark II couplings. I think these brighter red ones are much earlier than the darker red ones, but all of them come from between 56 and 58 from what I've read. Now, the old brake is R.120. Let's have a swift look at that. And they've got smooth roofs and they're all glued on, so there's no screw in the bottom. So you can't take them out and clean the glazing strips, which is a bit of a shame. They've got a lovely end on there with those windows. Let's have a look at the other end there. So that's the old brake R.120. And then we'll have a look at one of these bright red composites here. So these were R.121. Again, got very shiny black ends on them. Then the roofs are glued onto these as well. So I think you have to get into the very late 50s, early 60s before you started having the roof screwed on. And I think that's when seating became available in the early 60s. Still very nice things to have. They do run reasonably smoothly. And they all have the sleeved wheels with the open axle boxes there. So there's quite a lot of friction generated with these. We've got that same great shot again there, looking right down the layout. Just watch this time as she tries to gather some speed coming down here. Gravity at work, backing right off the power to try and control that. And that wonderful swish from the metal wheels. Now as she approaches these diamond crossings, she is a little bit uncomfortable on them. There is a point at which the drive wheels are in touch with just plastic on one side of the locomotive at each point going across those, and it causes a slight pause in it. It's a little bit uncomfortable, the spacing, I think. Whilst I was filming this video, I've received this rolling road. I've been after one for a little while now, and one showed up at the right price. So just have a look at the brake van. So we've got no power on now. I'll give it a little power and we'll just watch that as the power comes in, and just watch the brake van. A tiny amount of light there, you can barely see that show. So under normal room lights, that's very, very faint to see. But just watch what happens when I take off the 2P from the track, as it were. Let's see how bright that goes. So we just pop that down again. Onto the old rolling road. It really does take it down, doesn't it? I'll take up the power now and see what happens. So it is a very subtle effect when you're running the engine very, very slowly. It barely shows up just under room lighting. But very interesting, all the same. Well, I think that's probably about it for this week. So once again, thanks a lot for watching. I really appreciate it. And if you look back again next time, we'll have a look at some more interesting items from the Hornby range. Goodbye now.